stumble, you can still finish. See, you ain't got to hide behind nobody. Stop pretending. If you really want it, then get off your behind and get it. So what if they don't see it? That don't mean he ain't give you vision. Shoot, I made them haters lemonade when they gave me lemons. What you got? This beautiful baby, start to finish. Fearfully, I wanna be created. Finally, me for real. Walking in my purpose, it's good to be free for real. Knowing that all things they are working, I finally see myself. I know that I am worth it. I ain't even scratched the surface.
It's Friday. Hey, hey. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Come on in. Hey, everybody.
So my good outweighs my bad days. He know the plans he has for me. I won't let nothing get in my way. Hey, I gotta go get it, gotta go get it, yeah. Gotta go get it, gotta go get it, yeah. Gotta go get it, gotta go get it, yeah. Gotta go get it, gotta go get it, yeah. Gotta go get it, gotta go get it, yeah. Gotta go get it, gotta go get it, yeah. Gotta go get it, gotta go.
Hey everybody, hey, it's Finally Me for Real Friday with Dr. Jazz. How is everybody doing? I hope everybody had a fantastic day. How's everybody doing? It's crazy. It's been raining out here, but it's beautiful. It's an amazing day outside. And thank you all so very much for joining us for another segment of Finally Me for Real. Want to encourage everybody to be safe and secure. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Listen, I know it's the summer. I know everybody wants to run outside, but listen, let's stay inside. Let's make sure we take care of ourselves. Hello. Hey, just a couple of quick announcements before I bring on one of my best friend. Of course, want to encourage you guys to make sure you download my brand new app. All right, download my brand new app. All right, it's available on every platform, Dr. Jazz Ministry. There it is. Make sure you download that brand new app. Everything that you need to know about me and my ministry, and there's some freebies on there. All the sermons for my Finally conference, it's all there. Of course, while we are on here, we want you to use the hashtag Finally Me FM, the number 4 real. All right, the number 4, and let's put the word real. All right, Finally Me for Real. Also, secondly, you guys know I'm doing something. Glad you like the app. You already got the app. Okay, fantastic. Secondly, want to remind you guys that all of our products in our Finally Me for Real S-Wear store is all right. We need you to purchase all of it because why? It's going to go to a worthy cause, and that is to help those on the island of Trinidad and Tobago. And I've got a new shirt, a new t-shirt that's there. It's better to be 6 feet apart than to be 6 feet under. All right. And so that's going to come up real soon. And I want you guys to go on our Finally Me S-Wear, and I want you guys to check it out. Hey. All right, let's start some watch party. All right, listen, my good friend, I don't even know how long I've known her, but many of you guys know I have 2 Finally Me for Real songs. I got the one that takes us high and rock, and then I got the one that I rock early in the morning. It really takes me into the presence of God, and that's my good friend who wrote it, who sings it, who produced it. Hey, help me welcome one of my bestie, and that's Lori. Hey, Lori, come on in. Come on. Hey. What's up? Can you hear me? Are you hearing me? Can you hear me, Lori? Can't hear me. Go back out and come back in.
Hey.
Oh, there you are. What's going on? Hey, everybody, this is Lori, one of my bestie friend.
On my other phone.
Now
I can.
Yeah, so you got to turn one off. You can't use both. All right. Good to see you. Glad to have you.
Good.
How you feeling? Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
But I can't hear you from here. I only can hear you from my other gadget.
Yeah.
So,
All right, you ready to sing your
I can hear
song?
you from
Give
my
it
other
to me,
phone.
and then I'll come
I'm
back in
not
and
feeding
talk to
back,
you.
am I?
You want to go out and come back in? So this is Lori, my good friend. She's the writer of one of the songs. Hey, everybody. Everybody saying hi, Lori. Hi,
Okay.
Lori. Everybody saying hi, Lori. All right. And while
Can you
she's
hear?
making some adjustment in her thing. Okay.
Finally, me. Yeah, only then I am free. I was blind, but now I can see. I'm finally walking in peace. Thinking of the hurt and pain I've been inside. Shallow from the broken pieces of some life choices. I thought things would change over time, and over it broke my heart. I let go the pain, so I can start again. Yeah. Only then I am free. I am free. Then I am free. I was blind, but now I can see. I am free. I'm finally walking in peace. I was once bitter, now I'm better. Finally saw what God revealed and He healed it. Yeah. Conversations in my head reminded me God's still here. He's never left me, no. Now I am whole again. Yeah. Only then I am free. Then I am free. Then I am free. I was blind, but now I can see. I can see. Yeah. I'm finally walking in peace. Come on, ladies now, ladies, if you're free, let me see you. Wave your hands, wave your hands. If you're free indeed, let me hear you say yeah, say yeah, say yeah. Ladies, if you're free, let me see you. Wave your hands, let me see you wave your hands. If you're free indeed, let me hear you say yeah. Finally, me. Only, then I am free. Then I am free. Then I am free. I was blind, but now I can see. I can see. I'm finally walking in peace. I'm walking in peace. Oh, finally me. Finally me. Only, then I am free, yeah. I was blind, but now I can see. I can see clearly now. I'm finally walking in peace. I'm walking, finally. Finally, me. Finally, then I am free. Oh, the sun set free. I was blind, but now I can see. I can see. I'm finally walking in peace. Walking, finally free to be. Only then I am free.
Yes, Lord, I'm free. I'm free. I'm finally me.
Wow. Hey, everybody, give
Woo! God,
give us
it's
some
good.
love, give us some hearts, give us some love, show us some hearts. All right. How many of y'all enjoy that song? Finally me. All right. Yep. Thank you so very much, Lori, my good friend Lori Randolph. She's the writer, the producer of that song. And I want to say thanks to Lori for dropping that in our direction. We so totally appreciate it. I'm gonna try to bring Lori back on later on the show so she can tell us where that came from, the birth of that song. If y'all love the song, let me know. Let me know. Give me back some feedback. Send up some hearts. All right. All right. Yep. Give me some hearts. Let me know. We love that song. And of course, you can also download that song. We'll have the information for you or where you can download that song at the end. Hey, let's start a watch party. Let's start a watch party on tonight. I'm excited about my special guest. I don't even know what to say about this sister. She's a bad mama jamma. All right, she's a bad mama jamma. The sister is all that and a bag of chips and some dip. I call her Dr. I. She's an amazing pastor. She's a mother. She's an author. She's a teacher. She's a bad preacher. And the sister just got it going on. Hey, help me welcome to Finally Me for Real, Dr. I. Hey, hey, uh-huh. I love when I bring them on and they can hear me and they're, what's up? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You can't hear me? Go back out and come back in. That's how they do it in the club. Go back out and come back in. That's how they do it in the club. Go back out and come back in. Look at her. She's like, go back out and come back in. I got her. I got her. What's up? I got you. Stand still. Don't worry. Don't panic. Do not look. Do not panic. I got you covered. I got you covered. That's why I'm here. All right. All right. Here we go. Look, I got on the phone. I love it. I love it. I love it. There you go. All right, she's gonna come back on in, but in the meantime, that's what happened when we're doing technology. And no, I'm not going to I like to go live, so I'm going live. We'll get the kinks out. But how's everybody doing otherwise? How was everybody's day? How's everybody's day? We'll get her situated and we'll bring her back in. But how was everybody's day? And how was everybody's day? And then secondly, have you guys checked me out on 6:30 every morning? Love it. God bless you. Glad you love it. All right. Have you guys checked me out on 6:30 every morning? I am doing amazing 10 day. Hey,
We got it. I don't know what happened,
what,
but we're
what,
here.
what? You know what happened when two powerful women get in the same place? You know they better.
Listen, it's about to be real tonight. I hope they're ready because I don't know what you're going to ask me, but you know I'm going to give you all the good tea, all the
Hey,
good information.
I got you covered. Hey, this is finally me for real. Everybody, look who I got. Dr. I, one of the baddest. She's a bad man. The sister is bad. She off the chain. Y'all show her some love. Welcome to the Finally Me for Real platform.
I feel special. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Hey, how you doing? How are you?
I'm actually good, taking it all in stride. We had a thing last night and you're helping me decide I'm going to have a little bit more balance and maybe get out more in this dating world. So I'm good. I'm good. I got a plan. I got my big sister helping me. She go help me figure out put some balance in my life. But overall, I'm good. The kids are good. I mean, I can't complain. My kids are older now, so I don't have any plans to go back into baby world. The youngest is 17. He'll be 18 this summer. I'm good. Church is good. It's all good.
Did you say 17 and 18?
Well, the youngest is 17 and the oldest is 23.
Wow. So no girls, just two boys.
Just two boys. Just two
So how
boys.
is it? How is it raising boys? How is it?
Um, Both of them are different. The youngest one is very mild mannered, and I say all the time, if the youngest had the personality of the oldest with his skills on the football field, I would be nervous because he is amazing on the football field. The oldest, he's our youth pastor, but he has a personality that fills the room. So it's been different, you know. I had to, especially as being divorced, I had to really let establish that I was the king and the queen of the castle. So I didn't need them to become my king; that they were my children, and if they stepped the wrong way, you get to feel the wrath of the king and the queen of this castle. So it's had its interesting moments.
Wow. Before we go into diving even deeper, as soon as you mentioned you had two boys, of course, we know what happens in the U.S. with boys being pulled over. Of course, you know what happened in Georgia with the young man who went out to run. As a mother, how does that make you feel to know that your sons can be in the same, in the same predicament and situation? How does that make you feel?
You know, I really couldn't even post about Ahmad because I had so many feelings going through my body. It was like I couldn't even get the words to articulate how I felt. You know, we live in a predominantly white neighborhood. My kids go to a very interracial, multiracial school. And one day, my youngest son got pulled over, and the panic that came over me, with all the faith that I have, just in that moment, the panic came over me. And then I realized I haven't trained him properly because he called me like he was supposed to. But then I heard him fumbling in his car, and I'm like, what are you doing? Put your hands where they can see you. Like, I mean, I went into this whole panic because I don't want them to make an example out of him. Although I believe there's some great police officers out there, it just takes one. And pretty much they know us in the neighborhood. He's a star football athlete, but I'm just like, it's so, I pray over him and cover him every time he walks out the house. But as a mother, to know that somebody doesn't value your child's life that you brought into the world, it's you have to just stay on the altar with it.
Yeah, wow, wow. Thanks for sharing that because I can just imagine mothers who have sons. We have twins. I'm a great aunt of twins, and he's 5 years of age. And every time you see something like that happen, you're like, what are we supposed to teach him? What are we supposed to say to him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, you said you're king and queen in the house. So, well, first of all, you were married. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh,
Many people didn't know the preacher, the daughter of the great apostle. Give a shout out to the apostle and Pastor Elliot. But who are you? Let's know about you.
I'm a PK. I've been a PK all my life. Went off to college and really didn't want to do ministry. My whole thing was, let me just go work in industry and I'll be a good member, because growing up in this, you see a lot and you get exposed to a lot. And so I got married, and actually my ex-husband, we grew up in church together. His mother sat 2 rows behind us, and she was one of our intercessors. And hey, what a great story. The kid from church and the preacher's daughter, we got married. And that was after I had my first son in college. So it was kind of like, oh, I feel like I've redeemed myself. This is the great story. And it's just, from day one, if I'm really honest with myself, and I think sometimes we don't want to be honest with ourselves, but from day one, after we got to the hotel room, I was like, I don't know if I really like you like that, and then challenges started arising and situations started happening. Because I'm a kid of faith, use your faith. And I used my faith until my faith, I had to finally tell my dad, my faith ain't gonna change the situation. And, you know, for various reasons, he ended up leaving based on an agreement that we had kind of made. But because of my position, I was pastoring at that time. I was a pastor of one of our locations. And so our board asked me to wait 90 days before I made any decision. And I waited 90 days and I had a peace about it. And I knew I had done everything that I could do in my own strength and using my faith to save my marriage. And I knew it was going to be a tough journey because divorce isn't easy. It is one of the hardest things that you can go through. And I'm sitting here 10 years later and still saying, oh, okay, that's a part of the divorce process. And so, yeah, we got divorced. It's been 10 years now, and I'm raising my kids. God, ministry is good, but it has had its different challenges along the way. But I try to make sure I enjoy the journey. So that's it.
Right, thanks for being real and honest because if you knew me, like I told them, of course, I was married also. And after 4 years, my marriage ended. And I was like you. Well, first of all, I got married for all the wrong reason.
Yeah.
I was tired of going to church every Sunday after having good sex and having to repent. I was just tired. I was tired. Them tell me I can't take communion. I can't, So I'm like, you gotta put a ring on it.
Yeah. And so, I was the flip. I was like, I'd already had a baby out of wedlock. So I wasn't gonna do that twice. I wasn't gonna do the same thing twice. So I was on this whole thing. We're not gonna have sex. And so, you know, we got married and didn't know enough about each other. But I will say this, it takes two people to fail. While in the church community, we're always trying to talk about, well, who's at fault and what are the grounds. At the end of the day, I had to really look myself in the mirror and say, it took two people to cause this relationship to fail. What was the role that you played, and how are you going to fix it?
Absolutely. That is the key thing because sometimes we play the blaming game,
Yeah.
pointing at different people, but you have to own your part and he owns his part. And then you say, let's just kiss and say goodbye. Listen,
We sit at the games now. He comes to the game. He sits there with his wife, his new wife, and I'm a couple rows away. And listen, we make it work.
absolutely. It's the same thing with my ex. We better friends than we were lovers. We better friends than we were
Yeah,
lovers. Great. And what it is, the beauty is you got two amazing boys like me. I
yeah.
have a beautiful daughter who just hey Keita Beta, Jesus is coming back because she finally got on IG.
I saw that the other day. I saw that.
Yeah, 10 years. Now you know me, I'm a Bible person with the number 10, right? So I'm in
Yeah,
the book of Ruth, and Naomi stays in Moab for 10 years, right?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
and then Naomi travels back to Bethlehem, Judah with Ruth, her daughter-in-law, and Ruth in chapter 2 finds her Boaz.
yeah. I'm.
What
I'm.
is
What is this question? Okay, what
what
is what?
what is your qualification for a Boaz? Because listen, we know we've had some and some
Hmm.
Boaz. All right. What is your
Yeah. I struggle with this Boaz thing, and I'll say the honest truth. Because sometimes you look at Boaz's story, and Boaz was tending to his field, and Ruth was working in his field. But what happens when you have your own field, and I don't need to be in his field working? So I may not necessarily need Boaz. What I really need is I need a Joseph. I need Joseph who's gonna cover me. I need Joseph who will stick by me even when they don't want to be there, but they respect the anointing and the call of God on my life and what I'm birthing, that they can be there and hold their head up high with confidence, even though it may not look to others what it's supposed to look like. That's the kind of person that I feel like I need. No disrespect to Boaz, because I want you to bring something to the table. And Joseph brought something to the table, but I don't necessarily need Boaz. So I think for me, I definitely want him to love God. Now he doesn't have to be a preacher, but he needs to love God and know how to call on God. He needs to know how to at least pray. Like, come on, you got to be able to pray. You got to have some faith. Um, I want you to be financial secure. Like, I'm not trying to come in and take on a whole bunch of debt, but you don't have to be at my level. But we can have two homes. We can have my house and your vacation house. I mean, it just works out well. But beyond the material things, I think for me is hold my intelligence. Like, be able to, if I can't
Mm,
hold an intellectual conversation
mm,
with you, I can't talk to you. Like,
mm.
and I don't want no intellectual conversation about the Bible because every now and then I may need to go there, but can we talk and shift from, you know, I kind of like them a little hood too. You know, I'm sorry, I do. I need to feel safe, Jazz. I gotta feel safe, Jazz. But no, but not too rough around the edges. But I need to know if we walk in somewhere, you can protect me. So yeah, but I need substance. I think spirituality, substance, and also have a servant's heart, because there are times where we're gonna have to play different roles. I'm gonna cover you and take care of you and pray for you and all that, but then there are times where I need you to make sure I'm good before I go see the people. Don't worry about the church. I got that. Worry about take care of me. Be my husband. I know that's off. This is finally me, so I said I could just say it right.
Hey, no, that is absolutely so true. Do you have any animals?
I have a dog. I have a dog.
Okay. So here's my thing. When people always ask me, what my qualification, I said he has to have the three things that my dog have. Number one, my dog is always sad to see me leave. Number two, my dog is always happy to see me come.
Yeah.
And number three, my dog live to lick my feet.
Ah,
You can take that. You can take that to the
whatever
bank.
you want to. Listen, you know, it's actually my kid's dog, but I understand, because even though I'm not like the real provide, I pay the bills, but that's Jonathan's dog. Yeah, your dog is always happy to see you. I want somebody who is secure in themselves, and I don't have time at this stage in my life to fight you for a platform, or you feel like I know what God called me to do.
Right.
Let's work this behind the scenes out. So if the behind the scenes is good, we can have, great in front. I don't want a fake relationship.
Absolutely. Hey, everybody. Hey, listen, thanks for joining us for Finally Me for Real. I got Dr. I here, and you can hear her preach. We are having a real conversation
Yeah.
because that's what the platform is about, real. I love your book. Can you tell us about your book, Table for One, and what the title is, and how did this book come about, and where we can get it? So I know that's a mouthful. Tell me, how did that book come about?
So I wrote Table for One in 2013, and I was coming out of my divorce and was going to preach a singles conference, and I was like, Lord, what do you want me to say to the people? And I started thinking about how there's this stigma about walking in a restaurant asking for a table for one, and how we don't, it's almost like, oh, do you want to sit at the bar? No, I want to sit at a table. Just because I'm by myself doesn't mean I want to sit at the bar. I want to have a full dining experience. And so Table for One is based on that natural concept, but also about when Jesus meets the woman at the well. It was her table for one experience, because it's in the isolation moments of our life, the alone season of our lives, that he meets us and brings us face to face with who we are, so that he can shift us into another place of destiny and fulfillment in life. I didn't want to write a book that was a tell all about my divorce, or to put, shame my ex-husband. He's still my kid's father.
Right.
And the only three people that know what happened in that relationship is me, him, and God. Everybody else is just speculating or picking a side. So
Yeah.
I wanted to write something that would help people in that alone season, but not bash him or not put my business on blast. And so that's how I did Table for One. You can get it on Apple. You can get it on I think you can get it on Android. You can
Yep.
also call our bookstore and newlight.org and get it. But I wrote it, and it's still a book that I even go to. Like when things get like in this single season, I will pick up my own book and read it. And I love the way I wrote it is you're experiencing this woman in a restaurant by herself, and she's analyzing different phases of her life, because when you're at that table, it is a very analytical moment. But if you will take the moment, it can really shift you into a new season.
I just love it. I love the title because I often tell people one is a whole number.
That's it. That's
And
it. And we keep going into these relationships as halves and expecting to be whole, but it's not a mathematical equation. It's a supernatural thing and spiritual thing that happens, where he takes two ones and makes them a whole. But it's not, we're going into this stuff as a half and expecting somebody to give us something that they can never give, and you wonder why you're unhappy.
right.
Yeah.
One of the things that I thought about, as you're thinking about a table for one, and I thought about, the passage in the Bible where there is this woman who is having an issue for 12 years, and then there's a little girl who's at the age of 12. And I say, in every grown woman, there's a little girl, right? So the little girl is dying, and then there's the grown woman who has the issue. Of course, standing between the little girl and the woman is Jairus. So the text has a man, it has a woman, and it has a little girl. And all of us have a little girl, or men have little boys. What do your little girl say to you when your little girl speaks?
She's a little feisty. And so I have to really make her she's feisty, but yet there are moments that I'll fade into the background. Most people don't realize I'm an introvert. I am so much an introvert. Um, and I'm good, you know. Prashia and I are 8 years apart. That's my baby sister.
Uh-huh.
My oldest sister's like 4 or 5 years apart. So I'm the middle child. So we know how to be all right by ourselves. And
Mm,
so there are times where the feisty girl in me comes out, but
mm.
yet also the introvert comes out where I'm okay being the little girl that yeah, don't bother me. Don't bother me. If you don't talk to me, I'm good. And so I have to balance those worlds out. My best friend has a foundation for girls, and the other day she asked me to write a letter to my younger self. And I struggled. It took me almost 2 months to write the letter
Wow.
because it was just all dependent on how I felt that day. But one of the things I said is be okay. You're gonna make some great choices. You're gonna make some bad choices. You're gonna have some huge mistakes, but you're gonna have some huge blessings. And so I think that's what I would just say to my younger self, or when I look at my younger self, it's like be okay with every choice and don't beat yourself up. Don't get so perfectionist that you miss the moment and the lesson and the glory in every season.
Yeah, wow. Thank you for so very much for that transparency. Of course, I do a Finally Me for Real University. It's a 1 year program, 12 weeks, and it's based on the book of Esther, where Esther for 6 months put off some stuff
Yeah.
and put on. And just last week, for all of you Finally Me students, you're like, wow, because I had them write a letter first to their parents and then write a letter to them to themselves. And really, that's what began my Finally Me for Real journey is self-discovery.
Yeah.
So when you look at yourself, Dr. I, what are some things that you have discovered about yourself that you really embrace and love and celebrate?
All that I embrace and love and celebrate. Um, it took me a minute, but I love and embrace that I'm very sensitive. I am. Most people don't realize it. You know this because of the role we play. We're in, and we've got to be able to walk in the boardroom and be the boss. And I was raised that there's no tears in the boardroom, and so I've always shied away from the sensitive part of me. But I understand that sensitive part of me allows me to be compassionate when I need to be compassionate. So I've embraced that part. I've embraced the part that there's not too many people like me. That I'm proud that I'm intelligent and I can walk in any room and feel okay with a room full of men. Like I've embraced that. Like this is just me, and I'm gonna still have my bundles and my hair and my makeup. My face gonna be made up, but I'm walking in that room with such confidence that it's like, oh, don't even try it. Don't try it unless you really trying to step. But I feel like I belong at the table. Like I really feel like I should have a seat at the table and I'm not supposed to be in the corner or the back serving. So at in different relationships, I find out something different about myself. And over the last several years, it's like I discover something new about me at every turn. And one of the things when you go through a divorce and you start getting back out there in the dating world and you start meeting people, you find your triggers. And so something
Yeah,
will happen and it'll trigger you and you'll be like, oh, where did that come from? And I've had
yeah,
to deal with those moments because I found out some things I didn't like, but I found out some things that I loved about me.
yeah. Bag lady. you gonna hurt your back.
That's it.
And
That's it. Oh, you know one thing real quick that I love that I'm versatile. Like I love the fact that I can, I've got friends in all specters of life. I can preach in the pulpit, but when it's
yes,
time to just chill and hang out, I'm that girl
yes,
that okay, let's kick it. Let's hang out. And it doesn't change who I am and what I believe in and my faith, but I am
right,
well rounded to be able to I'm gonna switch up and it throws some people off because I can
right,
switch up and then still
right.
come back Sunday morning. I'm because I believe it, but I want to
Yes.
enjoy life.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, everybody, I got Dr. I all the way in Houston, Texas. She's rocking it with us. You can put some questions. You get a chance to ask her some questions or put it in the chat, and she will answer. Or she'll just say pass. All right. But so you can ask. So last night you kicked off something amazing, the Shiro League, and thank you so very much. I know you have other guests coming, but at least me, Nona, Real Kim, Sarah, and your girl, I think that
Latrice.
was Latrice, we are going to go down in history as the first ones who were up to bat. Let's get
Absolutely.
it straight. All right. Anybody else coming after us? But we were. So tell me, when did the bird, first of all, tell them about Shiro League, and when did that burden for starting this amazing league come about?
So I've always been big on connecting women. I think you are stronger by the circle of women that you're connected to. And so, during this pandemic, I'm watching all these lives and it's a panel, pastors panel for the pandemic and pastors panel for the pandemic. And I'm like, okay, well, where's the female pastor? I'm not seeing you. I'm not seeing Bishop O'Neill. I'm not seeing any of the senior pastor females that are out here really doing it. And I was like, I got an issue. And I just learned a long time ago that if they don't invite you to the party, have your own. And so I had my own. And we called it the She Rose League. And it has taken off. Like, I didn't realize when I did it what it was going to be, but I see so many things unfolding. And just thank you for being a part of it. And I went back to watch it, and the dialogue was so amazing. And so we're going to put it on Facebook today so that everybody can see it. But it was just, I felt like y'all didn't include us, but instead of me telling you to include me, I'm gonna have my own thing. And the conversation was amazing from
Yeah.
just all perspectives.
Yeah, I think it's powerful. I think it's a great lane. I've always felt, Bishop O'Neill is like my best friend, and she said, just go ahead and be Sojourner Truth. Because by the time I saw the second card and there was no woman on it, I'm from Trinidad, so I hit the ceiling from 1 to 100 real fast. I'm calling her. I'm like, listen, this is not gonna happen. And ta 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 ta. Then I called the host of it, and they want to tell me, oh well, on the second one we're gonna add some women. No, the first one, the first one, the first one, because I don't want to be an afterthought. I don't want to be an
Yeah.
afterthought. And we are in a kind of world where I believe even with COVID-19, like God has leveled the playing field. What's your thought on that?
Oh, I think so. I mean, like everybody can have a mega church now. It's not about buildings. If you're willing to throw your weight at it, you can be successful at it. While I believe that this is a time of rest, I believe it's a time of resetting, I believe it's a time to be refreshed. I also believe as leaders, we've got to be we got to stay on the front line and continue to do the work. Like this is not the time for me to just sit back and be like, "Oh, I'm going to just let somebody else do it." No, this is the time for you to step up and be sensitive to the voice of God so that you can walk into the new doors and new territories. Because like the She Rose League, I got an idea for a book and I've been struggling about what would my next book be, and I got it after doing that. And so it's the playing field is leveled, but when you get up to bat, make sure you hit a home run, as you would say. When you get up and you go live, make sure you give it. I don't care if it's 5 people watching. If God is giving you something in your heart to do, put all your weight behind it and do it
Right.
with excellence.
Yeah. Couple of questions now. Hey y'all, we stopping at 6:30. We're gonna get some questions. We're gonna lighten it up a little.
Okay.
So somebody wanna know, where do you meet the Josephs Where do you meet the Joseph? Where Joseph hang out? Now you
I
know you and I have had this conversation, and we gotta work this out before we get off here. So just think of me, a Dr. Phil remix or whoever. What is your challenge with virtual dating?
I don't, I've had some weird people slide into my DM. Like, you know, and I just I don't want to be catfished. I don't have time for unnecessary chatter. Now, I've also met some great people. Like, I met YPJ through social media.
Yes.
I think the thing for me is, by the time we get to the 10th, maybe the fifth conversation, and then you realize who I am and what I do, did I waste my time? And so that's kind of my thing with virtual dating. But I got, sometimes you got to explore new options. You just got to explore. And I'm open to explore. So I'm open to exploring.
That's good. Okay, so long distance or up close is best for you, relationship. I was talking to Joy Hill. She like, they gotta be up close. I said, Joy, if they're in California, it works for me. If they're in
Yeah.
Africa, it even works better.
I think I need a mixture. I need you to show up when I need you to show up, but I really want you to have your own stuff. Like, I don't necessarily need you to be right here. So I'm open to long distance relationships because even though we're slow, things are, I wouldn't say slow, we're kind of in our homes. I I just I don't want you hovering me. Like, when I got to go and I need to do work, and I know I've got these funny ways, but God got somebody just for me. I don't
Yeah,
need you hovering. I need you to go and do your own thing. Go tend to your field and let me tend to mine. And then we come back together for a great time.
and have a field merger
That's
with.
it. It's a merger this season. At 43, and I'm not caught up on materialism, but I need you to have something that you're putting your energy to, whether it's your business, whether it's your something that you can say, this is who I am. So I don't care if you live, as long as you know how to you cool with getting on a plane and flying, come on, fly in. Now you got to go through two boys, but come on, fly in.
Are your boys blockers? Do they tend to block? Are they heavy protect? How are they?
They're not blockers. They just feel like if it gets serious, that they want to be apart. They feel like the person should ask them to marry me before they need to get their permission. But I'm so protective of them that I don't bring people into my kids' life. Out of all the 10 years I've been divorced, my kids have met maybe one person.
Yeah.
One person out of 10 years, they met one person, because just because they're my children, and we come together, I'm not going to expose them to different people while I'm trying to fill them out.
Yeah. Hey, thanks
Yeah.
everybody. I see your questions. I'm gonna ask it. Okay, so have you ever met someone that was intimidated by you being a pastor?
Yeah, absolutely. And
How did
sometimes it doesn't, Jazz, I don't know if you get this, but sometimes it doesn't surface till later. Like, they say they're cool, and then when you're traveling, or when you know, they walk in the house and they see the house, or they, kind of maybe get a glimpse of your closet, and you like, and then they're trying to figure out where they fit. Then that's when the intimidation sets in.
Oh yeah.
Or when they get around friends that don't understand the blessing that I am
Oh,
and the favor that's attached to me, then
right.
it becomes a problem.
I'm gonna tell you my awkward moment in a date, and you give me yours. So I went over. This guy was looking so forward to it. Date is at 7 p.m. I'm getting ready, like we do it like 12 noon. I'm excited about it, and we get there at the dinner table. He opens the chair. I'm sitting there, and then he pulls out his commentary because he wanted me to help him with a sermon.
See, that's that virtual dating. Oh my God.
Yeah, and I just got in my purse, I gave them my card. I said, call my secretary, make an appointment. I promise to help you with your sermon. But I didn't spend 5 hours getting ready to go through the book of St. Matthew.
I'm gonna get in trouble for this. If we're not going through Song of Solomon, we don't the Song of Solomon. We don't need to go through the book of the Bible. I'm probably gonna get in trouble for that one, but
No, you're good. You're on Finally Me for Real channel. Hey, Anika Wilson Brown, she just got called. Do you know Anika Wilson Brown? She got called to an amazing church. Oh my goodness, her father is Pastor Wilson. He is a radical pastor in the DC. I remember going to preach at his church, and he has all the disciples, but they're all black on the wall. That's how
I
radical
love it.
they are. And she actually just got he turned the church over to her this year. So she's in the situation like you are, and you have been a distant shero role model to her. So her question is, what is the biggest challenge that you had to overcome as a successor to your father? That's a good question, Anika.
That's a good question. I
Yeah.
think it is knowing the pace.
Yeah.
Year one, I believe that you can commit succession suicide by coming in the first year and trying to change everything. So year one, I was like, okay, let me be very subtle in my changes. Let me just stabilize. I wanted sustainability and stability for our church. So I didn't make any big changes. Let everybody just stay happy. Year two, I thought, oh, I'm good. I finished my first year. And I got hit with, nope, we're not ready. So the challenge has been the pace. The challenge has been everybody finding, I would always also say another challenge, just everybody finding their role. You know, I'm the senior pastor, and then you've got the dynamic of, my parents didn't retire, they restructured. So everybody's still working and moving. But how do we all fit in our new roles, and giving everybody space and grace and time to adjust to their new roles? And so I would say that is give your father some space and some grace, because this is a big life adjustment for him. I have to remind myself all the time. My father did this for 40 years. 30 he was a pastor for 35 years. My parents got married the day after they got married. So my father had been pastoring for 40 plus years. This is all he knew. So I've got to give him the space and the grace
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
to adjust to his new lifestyle. But I'll say that, but be authentically you. If I could give you any advice, be authentically you. And when you're authentically you, the people will love you. Even though I still preach some of my dad's sermons, and because listen, when you open the Bible, you're preaching somebody else's sermon. I
Yep.
preach my dad's sermons. There are some things that I didn't change. I do it in my truth and my authenticity, and that's when I'm comfortable, I'm at peace, and the members know, oh, that's our pastor. And I think that's when you're going to win.
Yeah, Anika belonged to a circle that I created. It's all pastors here in the DMV. We call Equal. And I say to them,
Oh,
yeah, your first year is orientation. Your second year is experimentation. Your third year is evaluation. And your fourth year is acceleration.
yeah. Yeah. It takes about 3 to 5 years to change a culture in a church. And so, I was talking to somebody I was talking to one of my guy friends, and I was like, I don't want to get married for 3 to 5 years. And they were like, why? I said, because everything that I have really has to be committed to this, because it's going to have so many changes. They're trying to get used to me in this 3 to 5 year period. I don't want to add you in the equation. And then they're like, who is that person?
Mm,
Let me stabilize. Let me get them adjusted to me. And then after that 3 to 5 year period, I may be ready to get married. But I knew I had to put marriage on the back burner for a little bit, just so I could give the attention to the assignment at hand and not throw the church into upheaval. It was that's a big sacrifice, and I'm not saying that's for
mm.
everybody, but I understood what it was going to take over that 3 to 5 year period.
Yeah, that's a huge sacrifice. So what do you do for your downtime? Y'all can send in your question. I see it coming in. What is your I always say you have to go apart before you fall apart. You have to find a place to unload before you overload. And girl, you got a lot of hats. You're wearing a lot of hats. You have a big ship. It remind me when I was at Jericho. That's a big ship, and that's a Titanic. You ain't got no little boat. You got a Titanic that you have to turn without it hitting an iceberg. And so you going, 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 going. We talked about it yesterday.
Yeah.
What's your downtown? What do you do to go apart before you fall apart?
I'm with you on Mondays. I try to. Now I learned something from you the other day. No metal on Monday, so I'm gonna start that on this Monday, which is a holiday. No metal. Um, but Mondays are sacred to me. Like I'm like, if the church is not on fire, don't call me. So I
Mhm.
try not to have any conversations really church related on a Monday. That gives me time to refresh. And then but I will listen to the word because I poured out. And if I don't put some word back in me on Monday, then I'm already at a deficit going into the week. And so I had to put that in a part of my routine. I love to travel. And so that's what this is hard for me because when things start getting in, I feel myself getting a little, whew, I will hop on a plane. I will go to an island,
Yeah.
Mexico, somewhere. I got to get into this Trinidad, but I will go somewhere and just take a couple days and just sit by the beach and just relax and read a book and maybe go with some of my friends. I enjoy the energy of my inner circle. I've got some friends that don't have anything to do with church. They love God, but I love that energy. And we go out to eat. So the pandemic made me have to adjust because all of my things that I like to do
Hmm.
were not available because we normally would meet up and do lunch and have a 3 hour girlfriend lunch. Well, that changed. So, and then spending time with my kids. To see my son play football. I really don't accept invitations on Fridays during football season unless it's something that he may have a game on Saturday. But I like to be there to support him. And that's my downtime. That's my hair in a ponytail. I got on my shirt. I got on my button with his face. That's how I enjoy myself. And I don't let anybody bother me during the game. My family will be there, but we don't talk about ministry stuff during that game. It's all about him.
Fantastic. Last question from our viewers. How much do you depend on your father's advice for navigating? How much do you spend? I know I depend on him.
My, and here's the thing, my father is brilliant.
Yes.
My father is brilliant and he is a gift to the body of Christ. And I would do myself a disservice if I didn't pull on that gift when everybody around the world is pulling on it. So
Right.
we bounce a lot of things off. I talk to my father probably more now than I talked to him before I was a pastor, before I became senior pastor, because he's a sounding board for me. But we
Yes.
have a rule that he's going to go with what I want or what God is telling me, but he's a sounding board for me. So yeah, I'll run a lot by him. Now, my family knows I really don't. My dating life and personal life, until I feel like it's something really serious, we don't talk about that. We don't.
Okay.
We don't get into that.
All right. Rapid question. You got half a second to answer. Okay. What
Okay.
is your favorite junk food?
Favorite junk food is candy.
Are you a better dancer or a better singer?
Neither.
What? You can't sing?
No, Portia is a singer.
Or
I
can
can
you
hold a
dance?
I can hold a note. No, I
And
can't
can you
dance.
dance?
Mm-mm. See, I know this is a
We
rapid question, but can I say this? See, I
Yes.
believe that there are certain things that God did so that I could stay holy and sane. I do feel like I have a cute shape and I got stuff all in the right places. If he gave me the gift to dance, I probably would be in trouble. So that was probably the best.
Okay. You like them light or dark?
What did you say?
You like them light? You like him light or dark? Denzel or Wesley Snipes?
I like them caramel. I like them right in between. No light skin. No light. I mean, I like them. We got to be close to my color. I like them smooth like butter. But I'll take a chocolate baby if he fine and he right. I'll take him. But in this season of my life, I cannot be a respecter person.
If you were If you were a car, what kind of car would you be? What brand? If you were a
A
car,
Bentley.
why a Bentley? Y'all, she's going in.
They never go on discount. And when you see a Bentley driving down the street, you know it's a Bentley. And then a Bentley is handmade. I'm handmade. There's not another like me.
Well, everybody, I tell you, they are going crazy on my. Somebody said Morris Chestnut.
Oh, now I love Morris Chestnut. That back, Jazz, the back muscles say it all. It's not even about his skin color. It's about the back. I just need to see the back muscles. Listen, I'm gonna preach real good on Sunday, but let's just talk about. I need to be able to, when I get out the pulpit, I want to be like, "Ooh, that's my man." That's what I want to say. "Ooh, that's my man." I've had some other stuff before, but this time around, I'm gonna get exactly what I want. I want to be like, "Ooh, yeah," and I want somebody else to be like, "Yeah, he got it together."
I got you. Are you a morning person or a night person?
Night.
Matching pajamas or mismatch?
Matching pajamas all the way.
Oh, fantastic. Hey, everybody, we got Dr. I. Tell them how they can get a hold of you, how they can follow you. Don't DM her unless you're Morris Chestnut, but unless you're a Bentley at least. Tell them how they can get a hold of you.
You can get in touch with me. I'm on all social media platforms. Dr. Irishea, DRIRISHEA. It's just Irish with the EA at the end, or hit me up on Facebook. And I'm always at the Light, New Light Church.
Okay, now I know you said you can't dance, but at least I'm gonna teach you a little shoulder dance. How's
Now
that?
I can do that. I'm a good chair dancer. I can do the whole. I can sit in my chair and dance.
What is sit in your chair and dance me? That you just
Like,
move.
so you're just moving the top of your body. You're giving the illusion like you can dance, but you can't. You're not moving nothing else. If you stand up, it's a train wreck. But I can stay on beat in my seat.
Oh God. All right, hey everybody, make sure you follow her. She's on the platform. She's the baddest sister on the planet. Hey, when is the Sheroes event gonna be? When is the next one that they can come to?
Next one is well tonight. We're gonna at 6 p.m. We're gonna show the one from yesterday.
Okay,
So well, it's 7 your time. So 7 p.m. Eastern on my Facebook, we're going to show the one from yesterday so that the people that didn't get to register get to see it. And then next Thursday, we're doing part 2 with your best friend, Bishop O'Neill, Priscilla Schreier, Prashia, my sister, Candy West, and Dr. Kalita Forbes. It's going to be bananas. But again, it's nothing like the first one, but it's going to be good.
oh
7
my goodness.
p.m. on Thursday Central Time. But tonight, they get to see you if they go over to my Facebook page.
Fantastic. Hey everybody. Thank y'all so very much for joining us. We appreciate it. The baddest sister on the planet. We're looking forward to what God's gonna do in your life. Let me see your shoulder moving. Ready.
Let's see
Okay.
the shoulder move.
Okay.
Help me out. Got something on my chest. I
That's how to
won't
get
give
you.
you. Promise I won't keep you long. Not at all. You ever felt as if you didn't measure up? Like what you read for what you been listening to the clouds. You
We can
switching
do
up.
that.
Truly.
Hey everybody, God bless y'all. Thank you, Dr. I. Love you, girl.
Thank you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Virtual hug, H-Town, all
See you
the way.
later. Thank you.
Excuse me.
Hey everybody, thanks again for joining us for Finally Me on Friday. Do y'all thing, be you, do you, celebrate you, love you, appreciate you, value you. Whatever you gotta do, make sure you do you, do you. Hey. Ooh. Was this helpful? Hey. See you later. See ya.